You're not stuck. You just haven't changed who you think you are yet. And that's the part that nobody wants to hear. Most people think they need motivation, better plan, more discipline. Here's what I've learned. You can have all of that and still stay the same. I remember when I first got married, I started playing video games. And I had this PlayStation. I would play, and then I remember playing 2K. That was my game. And before I got married, I was playing it. And it was easy to play because my wife wasn't living with me. And we weren't having a baby and didn't have these responsibilities. And I'd play just whenever I could. But I noticed that I was able to play like 3 or 4 seasons of my career. And then I got married and I kept on trying to keep up with 2K and buying it every year. And then like it went from like 3 seasons of my career to like 2 seasons of my career, then 1 season of my career. And then all of a sudden I remember I bought 2K again and I had it, and then and this is like the year before COVID, like 2019, when the Raptors won and they broke the whole world. I remember I had 2K20 and I didn't even finish my career. And at that point I realized something. I'm like, I am wasting money here. And I just had to stop. So it wasn't about the motivation. I didn't need motivation. I needed a plan. I needed more discipline because I liked playing, but then by me playing, it meant that I was avoiding any responsibility with my family, with my work, with anything else I had to do because I was trying to distract myself. So here's the problem. At the end of the day, you don't act based off of what you want. You act based on who you believe you are. And this is what I think about. Like, I went from being a boy to becoming a man, but I was still acting very boyish. I had like I said, I had my video games and playing them all the time. But like, think about it. This is as a man, and like, I understand playing it to blow off some steam. But the way I was playing, it wasn't to blow off steam. It was literally, I was trying to create something on that platform when I wasn't creating in real life. Like, it didn't make sense. So I had to shift. There was a point where I had to look at myself and be honest. The way I was thinking, the way I was acting, the way I was moving, the way I was showing up for my family, for myself, that wasn't going to get me where I needed to go. And that's when it hit me. I didn't need a new plan. I needed to start creating a new identity. James Clear talks about this when it comes to identity, where in Atomic Habits, he says that when it comes to building a habit, the first thing you start off with is the identity. So it's like, if I call myself a fit person, therefore I'm going to think like a fit person. I'm going to eat salads, and I'm going to drink smoothies, and I'm going to make the right choices a lot of the times. Identity, when you have an identity, it means that you're going to act a certain way. So a lot of times what I try to attach people to is the identity aspect. When they say they want to be fit, it's like, okay, cool. What does a fit person do? And start acting like that. Start doing those things and you'll be fit, right? It's like, it all starts here in the mindset, in the mind. You don't wait to become better. You start acting like the man you're trying to become before the results even show up. So me being, and I've talked about this before, and like, my role models in terms of fatherhood wasn't vast. And like, you think about like even growing up and you're watching TV dads, you're like, oh man, that's so cool. But like, you didn't realize it's not reality. It's not. And you live in this world where that's how they are. But what they're not explaining is this, that you just got to show up. And so this is what I had to ask myself, is that how can I become the better version of myself? How can I become the version of myself that I wanted as a kid? And then every day it's just showing up and doing it, and just getting 1% better every single day. And I mean, if you keep on striving for that on a regular daily basis, yeah, you're not going to be perfect and there's going to be mistakes, but you still got to do it. So I ask myself that one question: what would the man I'm becoming do right now? And then I just do it. And a lot of times, I mean, like, it wasn't the easiest, but I'll give you an example. When I was 20, I used to smoke cigars, okay? And I remember I was smoking these cigars, and I remember what ended up happening is I asked myself a question, a simple question. In the next 10 years, do I want to be doing this? The answer was no. So at that point, I said, I need to just quit. And that's how I quit. And there's some other things. I saw some things like quit smoking, win a car. So that motivated me. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go do that. And I didn't win a car, but I did quit smoking. And I realized something. It started with me becoming that. Thinking about, okay, that's what I want to be. I don't want to be a smoker. Therefore, I need to quit now. So you just have to think. Ask yourself that one question. What would the man I'm becoming do right now? And then just go do that. When you act upon the way that you want to be, that's what starts that identity, and that's when you start becoming that person. Because your life doesn't change when you decide. It changes when you start becoming someone different. When you start becoming that person that you want to be. Because that person that you want to be doesn't make excuses. So you can either stop making excuses or continue being the person you are. It requires you to shift your mindset, your actions. So your mindset starts first, then your actions follow. If you're working on that too, that you're trying to become this person who you want to be different, but you want to be the same person, stay with me. Stay tuned to the next episode.